Hey there and welcome to the Mompreneur Show. I'm Sinead Dunn of the Extraordinary Mompreneur Community and founder of the Mompreneur Academy. And this week on the show I'm chatting with the amazing Laurie Joy, and we're chatting all about getting your mama mojo back. So let's dive in. Laurie, thank you so much and welcome to the Mompreneur Show. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your business and your family?
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Sinead, for having me today. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. And yes, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I am a mom and wife, and I have one 7-year-old son. And my business is I help moms turn their shit show into their mojo. And because I found when my son was 2, some 5 years ago, I was at a place where I was unrecognizable to myself. And I think a lot of times as moms, we look in the mirror and sometimes don't recognize the woman that is looking back at us. And so when that happened, I decided that I personally needed to change something. And so I started to do that by changing just my health and my nutrition. And I did that, and I came out the other end and a better, happier, more healthier version of me. And things began to unfold. Things began to pop up that I never thought would happen. And some 5 years later, it was a journey. It happened, and I did a lot of personal development and a lot more than I had ever done in the 44 years that I've been around. And from that came an awakening that truly moved me, because I saw what was happening to myself, and I had women asking me what was happening and what are you doing and how is this happening and what's going on? You look different. You seem different. And I thought, how awful of me if I wasn't the one to share this with other women, moms in particular. And so I was sitting at an event one day, and I decided that I was going to call myself the Mojo Mama, and I was going to help women get that mojo back that somewhere along the line in motherhood we tend to lose. Yeah. And now I've been in business and helping moms from all over the world do just that. And it's an amazing, amazing thing to be able to do and serve moms.
Oh, definitely, yes. I feel passionate about it. I've been crazy mom myself. It's so nice to everything you've learned along your journey to share with other mothers, to save them from going through it is a gift to be able to do.
Yes, for sure.
So how do you manage, because I know you also work alongside doing your online business, so how do you manage and juggle it all?
I am an organizer guru. So I was saying to Sinead that I am a teacher and a university professor part-time, as well as running this business, as well as a household, as well as children, a child, a husband, like we all do. Yeah. And so if I wanted to be able to live the life and do the business that I wanted, I needed to get a handle of what I was doing on a daily basis. And I needed to be more intentional with my time. And so when I was going through my own personal journey, what I did is I ended up getting rid of TV and those time wasters. So I'm not someone who plays games per se, like Candy Crush or whatever it may be. I know I can't go on Pinterest, Sinead, because I'll get lost into the vortex called Pinterest. And so I just step away. I just step away. And I stopped watching TV, and I started reading books, and I started going to bed earlier so that I could have a more meaningful morning routine before my son and husband got up. And then I really am very intentional about my weekly planning. So every Sunday night, I do kind of a schedule Sunday, and with no fail, I have to know what's going on in that upcoming week, because there's so many aspects to running a business, having a part-time job, and then having a family that you need to get control, or it becomes what I like to call camp chaos.
Yeah.
And then nobody benefits, right? So,
true.
Yeah.
So can you just tell us, because I know this is something that everyone wants to know about everyone's morning routine. So you say you have a little ritual you do in the morning. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. Let me first tell you a little bit disclaimer that if you were to have said to me some 7 years ago, Lori, you'd be up early in the morning and you'd be going to do a workout, you'd be meditating and do it all this, I would have laughed at you and said, there is no way, because I was the perpetual snoozer. So the alarm would go off, snooze, alarm would go off, I'd snooze. And then at the last minute, I would rush out of bed, get ready, skip breakfast, and go to work. And what I began to notice is that the people around me, the people who were living the lifestyle that I wanted and having successful businesses and being happy and fulfilled, they had a secret. And the secret was they had an AM routine, among other things. But they were very intentional with the way they started their day, because that dictates how you live your life. And I thought, it's not going to kill me to get up earlier. And so I started. And it was a little bit at a time. So I didn't all of a sudden say, okay, the very next morning I'm waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to do all this. I didn't. I started waking up 15 minutes earlier and reading a book, right? Having that moment of peace. It's a beautiful thing when you wake up before your family and you have some quiet time in your house, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes during the day, we don't have that. Right? By the time you go or the kids go to bed and you get things settled, you're exhausted. You don't have the mental capacity to sit down sometimes at the end of the day and take in all of this goodness. So I will save a really good book that I want to read for the morning. And I only allow myself to read that when I get up and do my morning routine. I meditate, which was something very new to me when I first started it. It's just been a couple of years that I've been doing it. And it literally has transformed how I exist. Like, I joke, I meditate for your protection, right? So it's like, I meditate so that I don't bite, anybody's head off during the day. So it kind of keeps me grounded. It's good. It's a good thing as a mom. I love to, I will meditate. I love to work out first thing in the morning, because what happens is if my day starts and then if something derails me, which it often does with moms, right? We try to keep a schedule as best we can, but sometimes we cannot do it. So I need to get that workout and that time to move me in the morning, because there'll be times I'll come home and I just don't want to do it. So I don't want to do it. And I'll be like, So I just get up and I go. So I will read, I will meditate, I will work out, and I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've done it for years now. I've always gotten up early. Got like an hour of power where, yes, I have to. Yeah. I have to. And sometimes, like, when the kids might be off school and midterms, I probably slack off with it. But I feel so cranky and irritable throughout the day because I haven't actually had that time to myself in the morning to choose how you wake up. That's what I like to say. It's choosing how you wake up, not waking up with someone poking your eye or screaming for breakfast.
That's so true. It's so true. You'll notice that, I teach a course to my moms, and one of the modules is called Wake It. And they're like, I'm not getting up early. I'm like, yeah, but you are. But you are, and it's going to be okay, and you're going to survive. I'm not saying you have to get up at 5, but maybe 15 minutes earlier to start. And they always all come back and say, it has literally transformed their day. It has transformed their life, because when, like you said, you could have someone poking you and pulling on you, and that's really not the ideal way to wake up. Or you could wake up and be peaceful, and then when you hear that mama or those little pitter-patter of feet, you're in a better frame of mind as well, I find. So it's a wonderful thing for everybody involved.
It is, yeah. I mean, a happy mom equals a happy home. That's what I see. So
yes.
So okay, so you Mojo is getting mothers to have kind of get themselves back into the groove again. So can you
Yes.
share maybe some top tips with us around this?
Yes, for sure, for sure. So what I'll share is, I think the biggest thing that I find when I ask my moms, what is it that needs to change? And it's just the overwhelm of the everyday process. Sometimes we get lost in this thing we call motherhood. And so what we need to do is just get a handle on everything that's going on. And I have really frank and, very, no fluff conversations with my moms. And I say, what is it that you're doing that's no longer serving you? What are you running the PTA plus the hockey plus the dance plus the volunteer plus this? Like something has to give. So you have to really realize what is not serving you. Although, moms have a really hard time saying no in general. I think it should become your new best friend, new best word. And really just start to think about what is going to align with you and what is going to fit and move you to where you need to be. So I asked my moms to get organized. And so one of the things that we do when we start to get organized, and this is something that the ladies can download off my website. We can talk about that after. But the first thing is called a dump list. And so all it is a notebook, Sinead. So it's something like, I'll show you mine here. So it's a notebook that I have like from a dollar store here in town. And it has lines in it. And I literally tell my moms to take this to their bedside table. And at night, literally dump everything out of their head onto the book. Because we know as moms, when we lay down, we're thinking constantly of everything we have to do, right?
Yes.
I didn't do this, or I forgot to do this, or the laundry's still in the washer, oh, I have to do the dishes, blah, 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 I have to get a present. And we are overwhelmed. And so it's not just about dumping everything out, it's the time in which you do it. So that you can settle into a better sleep. You can say, okay, I know what it is that I have to do, and now I can get it done. The next thing I encourage moms to do is to have a paper planner, like a journal, a daily planner. And so a lot of us like to use our phones or like to use, our Google calendars, but there is something very cognitive, pleasing to your cognition when you actually take pen to paper and write something down. And so I asked the moms to humor me and take a weekly calendar, and it's set out in the hours of the day, and I tell them to pick a color of highlighter. So I say, for example, I want you to take this color highlighter and I want you to highlight all the non-negotiables you have coming up the next week. So that could be your job, that could be appointments, that could be your children's activities that they have to go to. You've paid and you have to attend. So I tell them to go through that whole week and highlight all your non-negotiables. Then I tell them to take another highlighter and I say, now, the stuff that's in this dump list that needs to get done this week, let's make some time for it. Where is it going to go? Now, these are things that can be moved from place to place or time to time. They're not as set as the non-negotiables. But again, you're intentionally and purposely making it and allowing that time to happen in your schedule so that you can get stuff done.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, but most importantly, they have to find time for themselves. So 10 minutes with the door locked in the toilet does not count. So that doesn't count. I know that sometimes that's the door in our homes that locks. So we think if we just had 10 minutes for peace on the toilet, it doesn't count. But when I ask my moms what tips that I've taught them and hacks and different things and strategies about organization, they say hands down, this whole dump list with the weekly planner is what has really transformed them. And then it becomes addictive because you can see how much you can get done in a week.
Yeah.
And you continue to do it. And it's in the consistency. So, yeah.
So you're talking about, taking time out for themselves. So what way do you then treat yourself? I'm a big fan of when
you go through the week and you hit your mini goals, or you get your stuff done off your dump list, or, you say, you promise yourself that you're going to do some movement maybe 3 to 4 times a week, then I will say you need to reward yourself. Again, you're training your brain. So when you actually do the work and then you reward yourself at the end of the week, your brain is going to start to shift and think, oh, if I get all of this done, Lori's going to reward me and I'm going to be really happy. So one of the things, this is so silly, but one of the things I love to do on a Friday is on my way home, there's a beautiful little restaurant, local restaurant, and they make the best food. And I will treat myself to one of my favorite salads. That's one of my favorite things to do because I'm putting something healthy in my body and it's a treat. I really like it. Or something as simple as just a walk outside, in nature, or just taking in the sights and the sounds, or, a hot bath with a glass of wine. Like, come on, girls, who doesn't love that? So, but I always try and, tell my mamas, start to do the work and start to reward yourself for it, because you will start to, we have habits that we have really ingrained and trained ourselves for sometimes decades, really 10, 20 years. And we as women are so hard on ourselves when we want to try and change those overnight. It's not going to happen. Those habits are ingrained on a cellular level. And to change those cells, you got to give it time. You've got to give it time.
So true, yes. A lot of times we give up because we want that like overnight change, and then it doesn't happen overnight. We're like, this doesn't work, so we just give up so easy as well. And that's an important fact that it took a long time to get us this way. It's going to take not as long to change it, but it does take time.
Yeah, it takes more than overnight, right? And so I really like the fact that I often will say we can't go from laying on the couch to running marathons. And I don't mean that, I could mean it physically or literally, but I really mean it metaphorically, in the fact that if you want to have the change, you need to systematically and consistently, and just bite-sized changes start to occur. And then you do that for a long time. And of course, then you're going to have those massive shifts. So
what is one tip, a business tip you could share with us as well? So like it's something that you have learned kind of along your journey that you would like to stop preventing others from occurring to them.
Yes. So this is funny. When I first started my business online, I had a coach, but I really knew nobody else in the online space. And as you become an online entrepreneur, you get to recognize, Sinead, we were just talking about names of people, right?
Yeah.
Before we got on here. So, and what happens is we get caught in that, oh, look at what she is doing. Oh, look at what he's doing. Or, oh, look how far ahead they are. And what about me? And it's that comparison kills kind of syndrome, right? And when I literally started, I was blind as a bat. I was blissfully unaware of what was happening around me. And I didn't care. And it didn't matter. And thank goodness that I didn't know all the people that I know now, because it would have stopped me so many times. And I literally just decided, okay, one day I'm going to go online and I'm going to start my business. And, thankfully, I did it, and I didn't stop, and I didn't overthink it, and I didn't watch. Sometimes Facebook is great as online entrepreneurs because it can provide you with a lot of data, and it can bring all kinds of people to you, and Sinead and I can connect to, worlds apart, but it can also be a huge detriment. So watch what you do with your time on social media and do it to serve your people, as opposed to watch what everybody else is doing around you.
Yes, that's true. Because like my first endeavor into the online world was through doing like online detoxes and nutrition programs. And I signed up because I didn't know what I was doing. I signed up to so many other nutritionists that were like doing amazing things. And I got caught into that where I was like comparing myself and feeling like, okay, I think my first course I done online, I think I got like 10 people. And to me that was like, oh my God, I was such a failure.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Now I know it's fantastic, but at the time, because I was comparing myself to these people that have been online for years as well, so I didn't see their beginning stage. I was just seeing where they're at now, and thinking, okay, that was like an overnight success. So we know there's no such thing as an overnight success. So that's a great tip. Yeah. I've learned to just to unsubscribe to emails and cut myself off from Facebook as well.
Exactly. Just be aware of how you use it. Yeah.
So what is one thing that is making you really happy in your life and your business right now?
Oh, wow. It's funny because I've been a teacher for about 22 years, and so in those moments when you're a teacher, you will have kids who will come back and say, you have changed my life. And it doesn't happen right away, but it eventually does. And it makes everything that you've done and all the lost hours and all the headaches and everything so worthwhile.
That's incredible.
And this is what's happening with my business, is that moms are changing. And I know that when, I had a meetup, a live event last year, and the theme was change a mom, change a child, change the world. Mm-hmm. And I don't take that lightly because of being in education. I see what's happening with our children. And I know that if a mom can change and be happier and healthier and more relaxed and more on top of her game, that's going to directly affect her children. And I know that I'm having a ripple effect, right, on not only the moms, but their children and their families and their communities. And I'm having moms say to me, you have changed my life. And I spend lots of hours here in this office. It makes it all worth it. It makes it all worth it. Yeah.
I love that. That is so amazing. I think that's been one of the best responses I've had so far.
Thanks.
I love that. So, Dory, thank you so much. Can you tell us where we can find you hanging out online?
Yes, for sure. Thank you. You can find me on my website, themojomama.com. And I also have a free Facebook community of moms that's called the Mojo Mamas on the Move. We're on the move, baby. Yes, we're on the move. And so you can request to come in there. But the organization freebie that I talked about is a downloadable, and it's free. And so if anybody wants to go to the website, they can just get that. And rock it out, mamas. Take it. And you can change your life immediately. I love it.
I'll put all your links down below as well. And Dory, again, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it and for sharing your tips with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
As a thank you for watching my video, I have a free gift for you. I know when I first started out in business, I struggled to come up with content. So my gift to you is Content is Queen Blueprint from inside Mompreneur Academy. And this is going to show you ways that you can come up with content ideas so that you can show up to be the expert that you really are for your business. And 2, it is a sneak peek of what is inside Mompreneur Academy and just how the Academy can help you build a successful business, a successful life, and a successful family. So what you need to go do now is click this button now. That's going to take you to a page. You are going to put in your email. This lets me know who you are and that you are interested in building a business and raising a healthy, happy family. And I can send you more valuable content. Then I'm going to send you over to our registration page. Here you will create your account. It will only take you about 10 seconds. That's going to create you an account on my membership hub. This is where I house all my free trainings, and this is where you will get access to all your trainings. So I look forward to meeting you inside your inbox, where I will show up weekly and give you more value and more content. Bye for now.